Happy freaking New Year, you guys! If you're listening to this on the launch day, which odds are probably good that you're not, but either way, happy freaking New Year. It's January 1st, 2026, when my voice emerges into the world through this podcast. I believe this is number 22? I don't know. Either way, I would be beside myself if I did not take the opportunity to speak on what everyone else loves to talk about right now. New Year's resolutions, change, making goals, setting intentions, like progress, blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that I'm sure your Instagram feed may or may not be littered with. Because it is the time of the year where we get to set new intentions. We get to enjoy fresh energy with a fresh start. That I don't care who you are, that just feels so good. Regardless of how this year went, it feels so good to just be able to say 2025 is in the past. And now we are here in a new year. And I've noticed for myself some ways of doing reflections or intentions or setting goals work a lot better than others. And as I'm doing my reflections and intention setting, I'm realizing, why the fuck are we rushing? Why are we making this such a like race to the finish almost, as in you have to get everything done before January 1st, or like January has to be the month that everything changes or else you're fucked. Like, that's how it feels. And I totally get it from the perspective of like, you don't have this New Year's energy all year. We're not always in a big change period. We're not always between years, obviously. So it is unique. It's a once a year thing. Nonetheless, I have experience with making change that feels sustainable versus change that feels like you're rushing and it's quick and you have to get everything done and you're forcing it. That's not sustainable. Unfortunately, making real progress, change, adapting habits, like regulating your nervous system is not really that sexy. Believe it or not, it takes a lot longer than just, it takes more than just, I'm going to set these goals out and I'm going to radically change my entire systems and schedule and identity and thoughts overnight. And then feeling bad about yourself when it doesn't happen in 2 weeks. Know what I mean? It's very stressful. And this time of year especially is just, it's a lot of hecticness. And I find the irony in that it is such a like reset time of the year, but we're also in the fucking dead of winter. Well, I guess it's not the middle of winter yet, but it's cold as shit. If you look outside, everything else in nature is sleeping, resting, relaxing. Why are we constantly pedal to the fucking metal as if we are going to get eaten by a bear if we are not rushing through every part of our schedule, all of these new resolutions? Hello? Why are we doing that? Above all else, your body is biologically programmed to be used to conditions of living in nature. In the sense of, we are programmed to scan for threats, we are programmed to just fucking stay alive. And that survival programming is what has kept us alive, obviously, for thousands and thousands of years as a species. And now the layer of society and working and expectations and productivity, that is a whole other layer that exists on top of all of our baseline systems and ways of thinking. And this is why, oh my God, excuse me. This is why mindset work is so fascinating to me and so important, because if you don't understand how your brain operates in the first place and what is influencing your thoughts, your decisions, your beliefs, your worldview, you can't change it. You can't really change it fundamentally, or you're just not working with as much information as would be ideal to actually make these changes. And I loop this back to our biological bodies and brains, because if you look outside right now, if you're in the northern hemisphere at least, look outside right now. Are the trees blooming? Are there animals everywhere? Like, is nature really on full force productivity mode right now? No. Guess what? She's not. We are in the dead of freaking winter. It's freezing out. And for however many thousands of years, why do I keep losing my voice? For however many thousands of years before this, maybe not thousands, but humans naturally, like, come inside more this time of year. It's more of a hibernation season. It's more of a restful season. So to have a whole new fresh start and a bunch of change happening really suddenly in the middle of this season, it kind of works against like the natural flow of working with nature per se. Honestly, I think it would be nice if our calendar were able to match the astrological new year, because the astrological new year starts at the spring equinox. I feel like that just intuitively makes a lot more sense for things to get started and changing and whatever with the natural tide of the earth, but I digress. So if you're feeling this weird push and pull between, I have to be productive, I want to put all these goals, and you absolutely are entitled to want to like use the energy. I want to use it. I want to feel the freshness. I want to feel like I, am going into the new year with like a clean slate and like clear intentions in my head, like clearly focused on a goal, because that feels really good. But where it gets to be unsustainable is when we make all these goals from the perspective of like, this is what I have to do, or this is what I should do, or this is what I think I'm supposed to be doing. I think I'm probably like everyone else on social media, whatever. People are healthy if they go to the gym 4 times a week, if they eat whatever foods, if they wake up at 5 a.m. Like, we go to these habits from other people's perspectives. And something that I haven't done in the past that I'm realizing now, hence why I'm making this episode, is actually filter through, like, what would that look like? Like, what feels right for you? What feels right for you? And that might seem like a bit of a foreign concept if you are someone who is very much living in your head, always on the go, tend to be more stressed out, or just a very, very analytical person. I am very much so in this category. I've gotten way better with stress. I'm not living stressed out all the time anymore. I still am very analytical. And for me, when I think of like New Year's resolutions and setting the goals like this, I can get very much in the analytical, logical mode of like, okay, this is like a report. This is what I have to do. I have to have all of these metrics and analyze every part of my schedule and like put all of these goals in and like match this image of what I believe success would feel like for me next year, or like happiness, whatever goal you want. But where do you actually take the time to think to yourself? Like, imagine you are in that mode. Like, you are living the exact same way you are right now, trying to make these changes. Like, what does that actually require? What does that feel like? Does it feel overwhelming? Like, where can we break down the steps of the goals that we want into things that are actually digestible? If you haven't read Atomic Habits, this is a fantastic time to buy a copy, because that book, honestly, is one of the best ones I've ever read when it comes to, the personal development, mindset, habits, whatever, because it gave me a sense of power over my own life. It made me realize I'm the one in control of all of my habits, behaviors, and now I know so much more about how it actually works to build sustainable change. Like, that is so freeing. And one of the biggest things that he emphasizes, hence the name of the book, Atomic Habits, being like making changes that start so small. So small. But that goes against kind of like the hype up adrenaline rush energy of like new year, new me, blah, 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 because we all want to have like progress and results in 0.04 seconds, because we have squirrel brains at this point and we just want to see progress immediately. And this is why I say it's not sexy. And I'm not saying this as a fucking personal development coach. I'm saying this is a real normal ass human being who has tried to do both methods of changing overnight and expecting myself to like heal my nervous system in fucking 2 weeks. Guess what? It has taken me like over a year and a half at this point to like really actually notice a sustainable change in calming down my nervous system and not being so stressed. But nonetheless, the change and the progress, like with that nervous system example, has happened gradually over time. And it's still been rewarding. I've still noticed a difference before and now. But when we talk about big goals, especially things that are more internal or mindset based, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. That is not something that sells. That is not something people want to hear. People want to hear, I want to fix my nervous system in 8 weeks. I want to fix my nervous system in 2 seconds. Like, I want to be fit by next Tuesday. You know what I mean? And when we sell this, like, this fast and this speed, it just I feel like it creates friction and tension because our brains are not good at sudden changes. They are very good at adapting. We as a species in general, very good at adapting. Think about things like even climate change, something like that. We are not great at just saying, okay, well, we're just going to completely change everything and stop everything that we're doing and completely change all of our energy sourcing and our systems and companies, blah, 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 blah. We're going to change it all right now. That doesn't seem to work very well compared to like gradually making shifts over time to actually make it digestible and reasonable for the adaptation and the changes to happen. And this is the same kind of concept with any New Year's goals, any resolutions, anything that's changing. I just want to remind you guys, like, change and progress can be measured over a longer period of time and still absolutely be real and successful. And something I've struggled with is to actually give myself credit for things that have changed and ways that I have grown and progressed because it's happened over a longer period of time. And this is another point with the starting small on habits and the atomic habits part. Something for me that's been a mental block is starting small requires you to start literally so small that it feels dumb. It's almost like it feels too easy. Like a goal is not worth working towards unless it feels kind of hard. But the hard part isn't actually always in the goal itself. The hard part is in, can you break it down to something that's digestible? And can you just stay consistent? Consistency and intentionally making progress by doing small things every single day, that will get you so much farther than writing down 10 goals that are probably potentially like maybe a really big stretch for you right now, or something that feels too new for your body or like your freaking ego or your nervous system, whatever, and then just crashing after a few weeks. And I don't say that with a judgmental tone in the slightest, because like I have done this before. I have been there where I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to wake up at this time and I'm going to change my life in 45,000 different ways in 0.02 seconds. And it's going to be the best year ever. Guess how long that sticks? That shit ain't sticking. That is not sticking. I can promise you that. And I don't know. I know this is a bit of a general topic episode. I don't even think I'm going to put an intro in because, again, we're working in the holiday season. And yes, guess what? Similar to last week, I'm about to leave for an event for New Year's right after this. So again, this is probably going to be a bit of a shorter episode, but I just want to give you guys permission to not have all your shit together right for January 1st. To find a balance between taking advantage of the new energy and like declaring a new reality for yourself, or just having devotion to new habits, new different whatever ways of thinking. You can have both. You can have like the fresh energy and the devotion and the clarity without also feeling so much pressure to make it happen in 2 seconds. And you can absolutely want to see progress like in a shorter amount of time than what it might take to see like a really, really full end-to-end story of like a huge difference in something, and still have it be just as meaningful as the full transition. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to say, like, find balance in the new year. I guess that's the summary of the past fucking 14 minutes. It's just, as with everything, find balance with the habits that you're doing. Read Atomic Habits if you want to change your systems and habits and find new ways of living and being and thinking in the new year. And go after your goals. I'm also not trying to say, don't go after your goals. Don't say that, like, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from saying that they're going to go to the gym more, or they're going to do, the more stereotypical New Year's things, because it is absolutely important to have those goals and metrics. And it's very motivating to be able to have that. And as we all know, motivation only lasts for so long, unfortunately. So if you're going to be motivated towards anything, from my experience, the best thing to stay focused on is small, consistent, daily actions. And again, just staying consistent with them. Breaking your goals down into much smaller bits so that you can actually digest them. Being okay with progress feeling like it's too easy. Like I said before, when you break a goal down into something so small or so stupid, like walking 5 minutes a day down the street, or like reading 2 pages of a book a day, or just being at your house by 10 p.m. every night so that you can try to get to bed earlier. Those things might not seem like a big deal, but you got to reframe your brain and your mindset to say, oh, this actually is progress. This actually is me getting closer to my goals. This is me doing better for myself. It doesn't have to be this whole big flashy thing. You know? So I hope this helps someone feel a little bit less pressure for the new year. And me personally, I'm really excited for 2026. There's a lot coming. I'm like really excited for new opportunities and even potentially some guests on the podcast, which is kind of crazy to think about. I still feel this sense of imposter syndrome sometimes, and I'm like, I didn't even know that a lot of people were listening to this, but that is also just such bullshit. Like, I literally see people are listening. Like, I'm very happy to have you here. And 2026 for the Oreaganic podcast / the Oreaganic brand, I really just want to build more of a community. I want to feel a deeper sense of connection to you guys as listeners and anyone who's connecting with me on my socials and listening to me fucking yap on my stories and doing my reels and the challenges, all that. I'm ready to step into a new chapter of authority with this brand and not treating myself as like, oh, this is just my little side gig. Like, no, this is very much so rooted in my purpose and like soul mission and things that are far bigger than what my brain can conceptualize. And this is just the very beginning. I know that. So not to give you guys all of my inner thoughts, but that's kind of the goal for next year is more community, more growth, and just doing shit that scares me, because as much as it scares you, like doing things that terrify you or just feel uncomfortable are the best ways to grow. Everyone knows that, but it's one thing to know it, and then it's another thing to actually be like, oh shit, that's what it means, like to actually have to do it. Like saying yes to new guests or fucking flinging myself into London for 4 days to go to an event. Like, hello? I don't know. Crazy shit. Nonetheless, whenever you're listening to this, I hope you're having a fantastic start to your new year. Hope you're having a great day, whatever time of day it is. And I'm just really grateful to have this community and have started this podcast this year. And I'm so excited. So excited for the new year. So sending you guys all of my love in the world. Follow me on my socials, YouTube, post more on there. You can get more of me chatting and yapping about living as your most organic self. And with that said, go be your most organic selves, and I will see you in the next one.